Still getting everything together, guys. What is going on? It is referee Rob Jackson back with another video reacting to. Aye, bunga, 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 bunga. There's a YouTuber that I've been watching recently that has been doing his live streams with this app, and it's actually pretty cool. But that's not what this is about today. This is about, what if Negan met the governor in The Walking Dead? I haven't seen it yet. This is the YouTube channel Story Layers Guy, which I'm hoping that this is a what if, like a full like Star Wars what if or Harry Potter what if or anything like that. Like, I'm hoping this is a fan fiction that I can watch, that I want to watch more of. But I trust you, Story Layers Guy. Let's get to it.
There are two leaders in the world of The Walking Dead who ruled through fear, controlled entire communities, and believed they were the only ones who could save the people around them.
And I will say this, only one that you see on the screen, actually technically all three of them ruled in a way, but only two ruled through fear. One of them had respect. Do not harm children, do not harm women.
Negan Smith built an empire of over 600 survivors with outposts stretching across Washington, D.C. The governor built Woodbury, a town of 73 people who believed their leader was a saint. They never crossed paths, but what if they had? What if the saviors found Woodbury? What if the man who demands everyone kneel met the one man in The Walking Dead who would rather die than kneel to anyone? This is that story. First contact. It starts the way it always starts, with the saviors. Simon and a crew of 20 men roll up to Woodbury's gates in a convoy of trucks.
In Georgia,
scouting new communities, and from the outside, Woodbury looks like an
They leave DC to go to Georgia.
Gardens, solar panels, functioning town with civilians who don't look like they've seen real combat. Standard procedure: show force, demand tribute, kill one to control the rest. The gates open, and Simon expects a terrified leader stumbling out to negotiate. Instead, the governor walks out with a warm smile, 2 glasses of whiskey, and an invitation to come inside. He gives Simon a tour of the town, the infirmary, the food stores, the arena where he holds community events. He's charming, accommodating, and generous. He even offers to increase whatever tribute Simon's boss requires if it means keeping the peace. Simon leaves Woodbury thinking this is the easiest pickup they've ever had. He reports back to Negan. This governor guy, total pushover. Cooperative, friendly, practically rolled over before he even had to threaten anyone.
Negan
Woodbury's
might
ours.
think something else.
This is the governor's first move, and it's the one nobody at the sanctuary sees coming. Because the governor isn't cooperating out of fear, he's cooperating to buy time. Every smile he gave Simon was a calculation. Every room he showed him was carefully selected. The weapons cache, the fortified basement, the walker pits. Simon saw none of it. The governor showed Simon exactly what he wanted him to see. A compliant community led by a soft man. The same act he performed for Andrea. The same act he performed for every outsider who walked through Woodbury's gates before learning the truth. The lineup. Negan comes personally. He always does for new communities. It's the performance. Lucille, the leather jacket, the speech. He needs them to see him. He lines up the people of Woodbury. Women, children, elderly, fighters. All on their knees in the dirt. The governor kneels with them, not at the...
But hold on a second. The only reason why the lineup came to our group is because Rick and his group killed a bunch of their men. But in this scenario, the governor never sent anybody out to kill Negan's people. The lineup didn't need to happen. But let's continue.
At the front, not at the back. He positions himself in the middle of his people, like just another frightened civilian. Negan walks the line, dragging Lucille across the ground, delivering the monologue he's delivered dozens of times. You work for me now. You give me half your stuff. And if you try anything, I will shut that shit down. Then Negan picks someone. A young man, someone with no combat training, someone who can't fight back. He makes the governor watch as he swings Lucille. The sound, the screaming, the blood. Negan points Lucille at the governor, still dripping. Do we have a deal? The governor looks at the dead body on the ground, looks back at Negan, and nods slowly. We have a deal.
This didn't need to happen, though.
Here's what Negan doesn't.
The reason why the lineup... Alright, so I will correct this by saying this. Story layers so far, I'm loving this. I am loving this. I don't care if it, like, bleeds outside of it. So the only reason why Negan had Rick's group line up is because they killed Negan's people after he sent them to ask for more of their shit. And then Rick killed more of his people, so that's the reason why the lineup happened. So originally, Negan sent his people to get some of their shit. Then Rick killed some of those people, and then Negan sent some people to get them, and he killed. And then Rick killed more of his people after Negan had sent some of those people. So I think that's how it happened. I can't remember. It's been a while.
And what makes this encounter different from every other community he's subjugated? Gregory knelt because he was a coward. Rick knelt because his people were hostages.
Yep.
The governor knelt because kneeling was the most strategic move available to him in that moment. He didn't lose his pride. He filed it away. And behind that nod, behind those obedient eyes, a clock started ticking. The long game. The governor pays tribute on time, half of everything. He follows Negan's rules to the letter. The saviors who come for weekly pickups are treated well. Food, drinks, hospitality. Within a few weeks, the saviors assigned to Woodbury start requesting the route. It's the easiest stop on their circuit. This is by design. Because while the saviors are getting comfortable, the governor is doing three things. First, he's sending Martinez and a small team to follow the saviors back to their outposts. Within a month, the governor has a map of every outpost within a 50-mile radius. Locations, guard rotations, supply
Between
schedules.
Washington, D.C. and Georgia?
With the patience that would make a military commander proud. Second, he's stockpiling. Every tribute the governor delivers is exactly half, but half of what the saviors think Woodbury has. The real inventory is hidden in locations the saviors have never been shown. The weapons,
I like this.
The ammunition.
I don't know who I'm pulling for, the saviors or the governor.
Tucked away in the same places the governor hid things from Andrea, from Michonne, from everyone who ever thought they knew what Woodbury really was. Third, and this is the most dangerous part, he's talking to individual saviors. Not recruiting, not bribing, just talking, learning their names.
Yep.
Asking about their lives before the outbreak. Finding out who's unhappy, who's scared, who secretly hates Negan but is too afraid to say it. The governor isn't building an army. He's mapping human weaknesses the same way he mapped the outposts. When the time comes, he won't need these men to fight
This
for
is
him.
true.
He just needs them to hesitate for 5 seconds when the shooting starts. Negan gets suspicious. It takes about 2 months. One of Negan's sharper lieutenants, maybe Dwight or Simon, notices something. The Woodbury tributes are always exactly right. Never short, never overly generous. Every other community occasionally falls behind or tries to skim. Woodbury never does. That level of perfection isn't cooperation, it's performance. Negan shows up unannounced. He walks through Woodbury with 30 men, searching every building, every basement, every storage room. He finds a small cache of hidden weapons, a few rifles, some ammunition. Not enough for a rebellion, but enough to prove the governor was holding back. The governor doesn't panic. He apologizes. He says the weapons were from before the arrangement, that he forgot about them, that it won't happen again. He's humble, ashamed, cooperative. He offers to let Negan take an extra share this week as penance. Negan isn't buying it, not entirely. But here's Negan's weakness. He wants to believe it. His entire system depends on communities being afraid enough to comply. If the governor is complying, then the system works. If the governor is a threat, then Negan has to acknowledge that his system has a blind spot. And Negan's ego won't allow that.
Yep.
However, he doesn't let this slide. He never does. He grabs one of the governor's closest people, someone visible, someone the town cares about, and drags them into the center of Woodbury. He doesn't use Lucille this time. He uses the iron. He presses it against the man's face while the entire town watches, and he says it's a reminder that hiding things from the saviors has a cost. Then he stations a permanent team at Woodbury, 2 saviors living inside the walls, watching. The governor watches his man screaming with a hot iron on his face and doesn't flinch.
Of course he
helps
wouldn't.
the man to the infirmary afterward, puts a hand on his shoulder, and says nothing. But every person in Woodbury sees the governor's eyes in that moment. And they know this isn't over. The governor welcomes the 2 saviors like honored guests. What Negan doesn't know is that the weapons he found were one of several caches scattered across Woodbury. The governor didn't survive this long by keeping everything in one place. The real arsenal is untouched. The 2 saviors stationed inside Woodbury? Within a week, the governor knows their names, their fears, their families. Within 2 weeks, they're eating at his table. The strike.
Philip
Governor
Blake, I
doesn't
think.
wait for the perfect
This is his
moment.
name.
He waits for the predictable one. But make no mistake, this isn't patience. This is a man who
This is
watched his
calculation.
own people get burned with an iron and smiled through it. Every day since that moment has been borrowed
This is
time.
cold
The
calculation.
governor was always going to strike. The only question was when the rage would finally outrun the strategy. At 3 in the morning, a small team led by Martinez hits the outpost. It's not a battle, but rather an assassination. Quiet, surgical, over in
Similar to
minutes.
Rick's, I believe.
The governor doesn't want Negan to know what happened until it's too late to
Excuse me.
respond. The saviors staying at Woodbury have no idea what has happened, at least not yet. This is the way the governor always operates. The reckoning. The governor's mistake is the one he always makes, overestimating his own charm. The two saviors inside Woodbury noticed that Martinez and 3 men were gone that night. They didn't say anything to the governor, they radioed the sanctuary. When the outpost goes dark the same night that Woodbury's head of security disappeared for 6 hours, Negan doesn't need a confession. He needs a convoy. Negan responds the way Negan always responds, with overwhelming force. He arrives at Woodbury with every available fighter. Trucks, guns, Lucille. He's furious, but he's also controlled. This is what Negan does. He punishes, he resets, he moves on. But the governor isn't in Woodbury. The town is empty. The people are gone. Evacuated in the night to a secondary location the saviors never found. The walls that once protected a thriving community now surround nothing. The two saviors who were stationed inside Woodbury are hanging from the front gate, a message that needs no words. Somewhere in the empty streets, the governor has left another gift. The walkers from his pits, unchained, wandering the corridors where the saviors expect to find civilians. Negan loses men. Not many. He's too smart to walk into a full trap. But enough. Enough to make his remaining fighters nervous. Enough to make them wonder if this is worth it. And enough to remind them that they're not invincible. But here's the truth of this story. And it's the truth of the governor's entire arc in The Walking Dead. He can crack the myth. He can wound Negan. He can outmaneuver the saviors in ways Rick never could, because the governor has no moral boundaries to slow him down. But he can't win the war. Negan has 600 people. The governor has 73. No amount of cunning changes that math.
I don't know,
worse,
man.
The governor's greatest strength is also his
D-Day
fatal
says
flaw.
otherwise.
He can't share power. He can't build real alliances. He can't trust anyone enough to let them help him. Martinez offered to share leadership with him once. The governor killed him with a golf club for it. In the end, Negan finds the governor the same way the world always catches up with men like him. Through the people he discarded. Someone from Woodbury. Someone the governor treated as expendable.
Merle.
Someone who remembers what happened the last time the governor lost a war. They tell Negan where the secondary camp is. Negan arrives. The governor fights like a man who would rather die than kneel, because that's exactly what he is. But Negan doesn't kill him. That's not how he works. Negan kills the person standing next to you. The person you love. The person whose death will break you into compliance. But the governor doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have allies he trusts. The people around him are tools, not loved ones. Negan's usual playbook has nothing to work with, until his men search the secondary camp and find a locked room with a chain on the door. Behind it is a little girl, dead, reanimated, snarling, wearing a dress the governor kept clean, his daughter Penny. The one secret he never told anyone, the one thing he was never willing to let go of. Negan's men put her down without hesitation, just another walker to them. When the governor sees Penny's body on the ground, truly dead now, not moving, not reaching for him, just gone, something behind his eyes shuts off. The last thread connecting Philip Blake to anything human snaps. This is the same thing that happened when Michonne killed Penny at Woodbury.
Yep.
The same rage, the same destruction. But this time there's no army behind him, no tank, no second chance. The governor doesn't kneel, he doesn't beg, he does what he's always done when the world takes something from him. He tries to burn everything down. He lunges at Negan with nothing but his bare hands and the rage of a man who has lost the last thing keeping him human. Negan doesn't swing Lucille, he doesn't need to. 3 saviors put the governor down before he gets within arm's reach. Philip Blake dies on his feet, reaching for a man he couldn't touch, surrounded by the ruins of everything he tried to build. The same way he lived, violent, defiant, and completely alone. The governor was the most dangerous leader in The Walking Dead. More ruthless than Rick, more cunning than Negan, more willing to burn everything to the ground than anyone who came after him. But Negan didn't build his empire by being the most dangerous. He built it by being the most systematic. The governor fights wars, Negan runs a government. In the end, the governor couldn't beat the saviors for the same reason he couldn't beat the prison. Not because he lacked the strength.
Yep, that's all I got for this one. So thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. And we are